All right, I'll go through the roll call. Legislator Muldrow,
Here.
Amy Sargent. Here. Robert Shea,
Yeah.
Mark Strong.
Here.
Okay, myself, that's the committee of five. I'd like to get a motion to approve December 9th minutes.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and you'll see on the agenda, there is no appointments. So we can go right into department reports, and then we'll have 7 resolutions to go through tonight. We can start with the treasurer.
You have to.
Hello, treasurer. Is there anything in addition you'd like to add to your report tonight?
You want me to wait until you're.
I can go through your resolution if you'd like to right now.
Resolutions?
He has one resolution.
Can we do it last?
All right. Okay, Ways and Means 7 is a resolution from the treasurer's office, and it's to authorize to transfer funds to the Cayuga County Treasurer's budget from the contingency account. I believe it's in the amount of $6,500. And there was some emails going back and forth about why the need in January to add money to a budget line came already. And I can kind of fill you in on what I know and have the treasurer go through it. There is a budget line in the treasurer's budget that pays taxes on county-owned property. And that there is in this line had, I think, $4,000 in it, but this bill has come forward that represents a debt service charge from the town of Senate for a water upgrade they made on the property the sheriff's department sits on.
Right.
And my understanding is the last time this kind of debt service had to be paid was in 2018. So there was no way that you anticipated this charge coming
That's correct.
and had no notice of it.
That's correct.
So when the budget was put together, you weren't realizing this liability was going to be there.
That's correct.
And at this point, the way that this is something that the county does need to pay, and the appropriate way to fund this would be to take it from the contingency, which will require 2/3 at the legislative meeting.
That's correct.
Can I get a motion for WM 7?
I'll move it for discussion.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, let's hear the discussion.
So, I mean, I understand it's a bill basically that we have to pay. Why do we have to take it out of the contingency? Can't we take it from somewhere else, or is that a legal thing, right?
Well, my understanding would be, and I don't know, Lynn, I don't know if she's even here, but the only other way to pay it would be to take that amount of money out of the current treasurer's budget and move it from one line to the other. And I'm not sure that you considered that, or I'm not sure it would be possible to do.
I'm not sure it's possible to do. And I'm not sure we have that available. Normally speaking, this would have been in the budget for.
I understand
Yeah.
I
But
mean, it's a bill. We have to pay it.
the question is, I mean, you're not
Why do
gonna
we have to
take
take
it.
it out of the contingency? Isn't there somewhere else that we can come up with this money? I mean, we've already taken $30,000 out of our contingency fund.
If you don't move it from within his budget, I can't imagine you'd move it from another department's budget into his budget line. So either you can find it within your budget, or contingency, from my understanding, has 200,000 in it, and it was set up to be an account to cover unanticipated expenses during the course of this
That's how I
year.
understand the contingency fund. It'd be easier to do it that way than try to find it in our budget, because we're pretty lean.
Is Lynn on there?
Pretty lean.
I think we're all lean.
Okay.
Means we don't have a lot of money.
I mean, we can move this to the ledge meeting, and you could ask, you can go back and see if there's a
Well, it
way.
takes a 2/3
You're gonna
vote.
need a
I'm sure there'll be a
2/3 vote
discussion
anyway.
at the ledge, right?
Yes, but you could see if there's 1,000 or a few
Looking to see
thousand.
what account perhaps it is available to take it out of. I think it'd be easier to come out of here because the contingency fund is used for just these types of things, but whatever works best for the legislature.
Is that what you're asking, Mark? That could he look within his own budget? And if not, we'll move it.
I was not necessarily picking on him. I didn't know if there was another place that we could take money besides the contingency. If that's where the money has to come from, it has to come from. It's a bill we have to pay.
Right.
Lynn's on now.
Lynn? Hello, Lynn.
Yes,
We were just, Mark asked a question about this $6,500 that need to come from contingency for the debt service for the project in the town of Senate.
yep.
And I guess the question Mark asked, is there another place that this could come from? And the only thing I could think of is that it would have to be identified within the treasurer's budget to move money around to fund that line. And he said, him not personally, but his budget's lean. And he thought that would be difficult to do, but would look if requested.
Yeah, they don't have any money like that to transfer. They don't. I looked at their budget already.
Oh, before you even looked at this as part of the resolutions group, you wondered if he could transfer within his own budget.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have that kind of funding.
Okay, all right.
I mean, if that's where it's got to come from, I understand that. I just, like I said, we've already tapped into it. And this is just January.
Yeah, and exactly. And, I think as Lynn being part of the resolutions group, when she sees a request like this, the first thing she'd probably do is say, don't take it from contingency, move from your own budget lines if possible.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
all right.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Grace?
Yes. I have nothing to add to my report unless anybody has any questions, but I do have one resolution.
And just my usual question, when did you know how sales tax ended?
So, because we have to do the accrual.
Yep.
I think last year I didn't get it until sometime in February, so I have to wait till the state report comes out. Where they've basically done all their reconciling and have their final numbers, so I can determine what, it's basically when they come out with like their March quarter.
Yep.
And then I take like a quarter or a third of that because that's December, based on how they do it. So I just, it's usually around February sometime. I think it was the end of February.
You'll be able to tell us how sales tax performed in 25
Correct,
and then compare it to budget.
correct.
Okay.
Once we do the accrual, yeah. We
All right.
wrote out last year's accrual and then pre-accrue for the end of the year.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, you have one resolution, and it is WM4 authorizing the year-end accrual adjustments in the 2025 operating budget.
Yes.
Second.
And you asked that this be pulled a month ago so that you could come and make sure that it complies with the law and what you're required to do. And if you want to go through the resolution, that would be great.
Yep, I basically worked on this with Lynn and Fred. We looked at different laws, the state regulations to make sure that we were in compliance. And basically, run ratified accrual. We have to accrue for liabilities. So basically what that is making sure that any expenditures that are for the 25 year are put into the 25 year. So what this resolution does is it allows me to accrue for those liabilities so that we can get the expenditures in the correct year. By doing that, obviously it could cause us to go over in some lines. So this resolution basically gives me the approval to do that. And if you can see, the last resolve says that it's now requiring me to come forward with a report to let you know what departments we've transferred money into or out of. So we're not doing a line by line budget adjustments. It's more, we're gonna look at each department, did they fall within their budget? And then if they didn't, if they're short, we have to move money from somewhere else, another budget to put it in there. And this, even though we're, some departments are going over, this resolution is only if we stay within the amended budget that you guys have already approved. So if we were to go over that budget, obviously that's a whole nother story. We would have to come forward with something.
That's correct.
And when you and I talked, we're going to be able to understand, because in order to be legal, you can't let lines go with not enough money in them. You're going to make sure that lines that don't have enough money in them, you are able to put money in them from the existing 2025 budget overall.
Yes, but not in lines, because we're not gonna go
Correct.
line by line. because
But in
obviously
budget,
there's
in-
not-
in department
yes,
budgets.
Department, yes.
But if you came in and said the Department of Social Services had to have money put into their budget, you could tell us what line,
Yes, if
what,
you want a detail of why, we could then give that,
right,
yes.
and that would be good information.
Yes,
And I think we talked last year, Lynn told me that at the end of the year, the health department, they went over in programming for children with special health care needs, the 3 to 5 program. In December, they went over their budget. And they had to have money put into them to make it whole.
correct.
We would not have known that because it happened in December. But when this will inform us where those high-risk areas are. But if you didn't have enough money from within the 25 budget, as an overall, we'd have to draw from the fund balance
Correct.
to make those lines whole. And you'd have to come forward and let us know that too.
Yes. And this isn't the net, I mean, we're looking at just appropriations only. Right, so just your expenses, yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Grace, and I'm asking for a yes or no answer. I know you don't have the detail yet. It's way early. Do you, in your experience, see that happening? Are there indicators that saying we might have some issues?
For the fund balance, you mean, to draw from, to
Well,
go over,
going over, yeah.
no.
Hard to say, I know, but
I mean, because you're talking about the modified budget, we're not talking about the adopted budgets. You have to remember during the year, there's grants that are accepted. There have been resolutions that have come forward to already pull money from the fund balance that
Yep.
increase those appropriations. So the expectation is that we wouldn't be going over
Okay.
in total. No, we should be.
Certain departments will definitely be over their budget,
Yeah, so
but
there'll be
not,
some departments that are under the,
and if you do, you will come forward with detail.
yes, we would have to, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the goal this year, one of the things that we are going to be talking about at one of our department head meetings is we are also going to be working on a new transfer funds policy and talk with departments about coming forward throughout the year more when they are going to go over budget, that they have to come forward with a resolution. Or we may, be holding off of paying something or posting something or whatever, so that, it provides more transparency. It does amend the budget so that we're not facing this as much at the end of the year.
Okay.
For the departments, so yeah.
Thank you.
all right, so we have a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. Thanks for working on this, Grace. Okay, it is Jenny?
So if you have my report in front of you, I just wanted to point out for all of these legislative updates, there's a lot that there's exemption changes that are local options. So essentially, we would have to pass a local law in order to adopt those changes. So this is for informative purposes only. I'm not advocating for any of these changes, but I just want you to be aware of what's out there, what's recently passed in the state legislature. If you want more information on any of these, or me to try to run scenarios or estimate, what the tax shift would be to adopt any of them, let me know and I'll try to work on getting you that information as well. And then there is also one that I wanted to particularly point out that's pending chapter amendments right now. My office has gotten a number of calls on it, so I just wanted to make you guys aware because I'm sure at some point people may reach out to you about this exemption change as well. It's an amendment to the alternative veterans exemption, where there'll be a full property tax exemption for 100% service-connected disability. The way the state has presented it, it makes it sound like that's it, that there's no additional criteria. But there's actually quite a bit of additional criteria. So they have to have certain qualifying conditions, either post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury or military sexual trauma, or be discharged LGBT veteran with other than dishonorable or bad conduct discharge. They have to be unemployable, a rating from the VA Association, and eligible for pecuniary assistance from the US government. So essentially for assistance to modify their house to assist with their disability. So they have to meet all of those criteria in order to get that exemption. Right now, the way the law is written is it would be a local option. The pending chapter amendment would make it so it was a mandatory exemption. You guys wouldn't have an option. So still waiting to see what's happening with that chapter amendment. I'll update you as soon as I have more information. And that would go into effect for the 2027 roll if the chapter amendment is approved on that one. So, any questions on any of those?
Any exemption the county would potentially consider or think about, would the tax that was reduced would just be spread to other taxpayers? Is that
Correct.
how
It has no
works?
impact on our revenue. Whatever you guys said is the levy is the levy. So essentially, it just shifts the tax burden to other taxpayers when somebody gets an exemption.
Okay, do you want to do, any questions for Jenny on this? Do you want to do, Ways and Means 3?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the settlement, this Article 7 settlement with Walmart?
Yes. So this one essentially, it's a prospective change. So we wouldn't be paying any refunds. The 2025 assessment roll would remain as is. So the change would occur for the 26 assessment roll and then be frozen for 3 years from that. So
I'll move it.
I'll second. Oh, good, you second. Any other questions? All's been in agreement with this settlement and
yeah, it's a good session.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thanks.
Another one on.
Okay.
As well.
Which is,
Ways and Means 6. And this is for a correction of error, which is over $2,500. And so this one is for an unpaid school tax, which actually was paid. So the school district did provide me with supporting documentation. So really that should be removed from their town and county tax bill.
okay, and as you say, just because it's the dollar amount's over 2,500, you have to
It needs
bring the
legislative
resolution.
approval.
Okay,
Let's just
get a motion for that?
I'll move it.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Okay, then there is Diane. We have your report.
I have my report if anyone has any questions. I do have one resolution tonight too, which is Ways and Means.
Okay, authorizing the legislature to create a part-time HR, help, is an HR administrator and the HR assistant help and the HR administrator to fill the part-time. This is you've been without a full-time HR assistant for most of the year, almost all of 25.
Yeah, we had a retirement at the end of May of 25 and we were asked to hold off on the position till the budget was decided on for 26 and we were given permission for a part-time position. So we want to put it in the health program to help us with recruiting. So it would be budget control. So.
Okay.
Just, I'll make a motion discussion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, he moved it in second. Go ahead.
So a quick down and dirty version, explain the health program to me, please.
So because the state right now is not offering a lot of civil service exams, they're primarily just doing them in the fire and police areas and a few other ones. They have suggested that counties put their positions into the health program.
What does it stand for? Yeah,
You had to ask,
Sorry.
I have to look it up.
sorry, all
I
right.
don't remember the exact acronym, I'm sorry. Basically, we're changing the classification from competitive to non-competitive temporarily, so that a person can go into the position and not have to take the exam after they've been in the position for a year. We can put them in a competitive status.
Right, I assumed that's what it was, but I wanted to make sure, because I knew it was basically police and fire and the 911 dispatchers.
Yep, there's just.
Okay,
There are
thank you.
a few key positions, so.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, more questions? All in favor?
Bye.
I just have a quick one.
Okay, go ahead. Oh,
Is there a charge for the test?
We do charge for exams, yes. So most of them are $15. The police exams are $25.
Thank you.
And the only weird thing with health is when a position converts to health, it has to be created as non-competitive.
Correct.
And the funding from the competitive position is transferred and then it gets unfilled and that's kind of crazy part of it, right?
Yes. Yeah, then the acronym is hiring for emergency limited placement statewide program.
I didn't say that, but I just, know.
Sure you will.
Yeah.
Right on the top of it. I saw it.
Thank you, Diane.
Remember, there's a young man in.
I know, I'll behave. Behave.
Uh-oh,
Um,
pressure.
oh, yes, all right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. We do have, well, we'll let Amanda go forward and then we have, I think, two resolutions that we're gonna own, the county attorney will own.
Be happy.
All right.
I don't wanna-
Okay, go ahead, Amanda.
I don't have a lot on my report, but I'm working on 15 highway bids that I'm looking to get published next week. I'm working on our copiers, our leased copier print management. That's hopefully going out next week. I'm meeting with DSS Friday for their Catholic charities to finalize that one, which will also be published next week. I'm still trying to close 2025 POs while all the 2026 POs are coming in. So that's a lot of what I'm doing on here, but I also wanted to provide an update for while I was helping with the buildings and grounds, and I'm still, helping and we're transitioning those things over, but we went with Power Management to help us consulting, and we've locked in supply rates until 2027 and 2028 for electric and gas. So various agreements that I have in place. And so far for electric, we've avoided about 23,000 in increases that came through the end of 2025. And for gas, we've avoided about $4,000.
And that's for county-owned properties, correct?
Yes, yeah, those are for our accounts.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm looking, so we've also added on different solar credit accounts, which are not our solar panels or anything like that, but when those are built, you get opportunities to try to opt in to receive some of those discounts. So I've added a bunch of accounts to our 48 electric and gas accounts that are gonna start offsetting some of our costs as well. So once I start having some of those credits come in, I'll update you on what we're looking at there too.
Like it.
Great, thank you.
And if you have any other questions about bids or anything, just let me know.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last two resolutions for tonight is the Ways and Means one, and that's authorizing the chair and the county legislature to sign contracts with certain agencies, and that includes tourism for $1,282,500. That's the projected amount of the tourism funds. Is that correct, Mr. Treasurer?
That sounds correct.
Okay, soil and water at 700,000. Central New York Planning and Development Board, 45,860. Cornell Cooperative Extension, 300,000. And the $3,500 to multiple libraries, adding up to about $31,500. Those are they're annual contracts that we have, and once this passes, you'll end up with a contract with
Yeah.
all of these agencies,
Yeah,
correct?
26 budget appropriated the monies
Yep.
for these agencies and boards. What this resolution does is authorize the expenditure and the entering of contracts with those agencies.
Can I get a motion?
Move it, Mark.
Second?
Second,
Any questions?
how does it compare to previous years?
I think soil and,
Libraries are about the same.
yeah,
The tourism is an estimate based on an estimate that tourism supplied. Soil and water conservation, planning and cooperative extension all went through the 2026 budget process. And I believe these reduced those monies from their ask. I don't have at my fingertips by how much.
yes, and I think water, soil and water was 730 last year and now it's 700.
So,
Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
I believe that.
yep. Okay. All in favor?
I,
And I did want to note, Amanda put the third quarter tourism information, instead of putting it on Teams where no one looked at it, she did put it in our packet. So I think the end of the third quarter for tourism is probably just over $1 million. So we'll see how the fourth quarter now. And that would be ready at sometime after the first of like this month or next month or. Okay, all right. Let's see, then the next is authorizing the chair to sign, to amend an agreement with Spino McLeod PLLC for the provision of county foreclosure legal work. It says on the title, we need a 2/3. That isn't true. This money is coming from within the budget and within Fred's budget professional services line.
That's correct.
And this is a year after year contract you have with Spino.
Yes, and this cleans up the fact that there wasn't a contract in 25. You'll notice this goes from August 1 of 25 through July 31st of 27. So this cleans up that omission and also authorizes the entry of a contract for the next year.
move it.
Second.
Any other questions?
Do we need to amend it because it says the 2/3 or it doesn't matter?
Friendly?
Friendly, just take the 2/3 out of the
Take it off
title.
and make sure when it shows up next
Okay.
month.
Yep. Okay,
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, okay. Wraps up Ways and Means. Now we'll go on to Health and Human Services. Amy?
Yes, we have 17 resolutions. The first three, if I could bundle, the first three with the health department, HH1, HH2, and HH3. They're authorizing the chair to enter into a letter of agreement with Cornell Animal Health Diagnostic Center. HH2 is authorizing to create a public health director to fill women, infant, and children assist program position following a resignation. And HH3 is authorizing the chair to enter into a contract with New York State Department of Health and accept 100% of these funds. We talked about these in committee and I don't think there was
Yeah. I'll move them as a group.
I'll second.
any discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The next four are all contracts for DSS. So I moved to bundle HH4, which is authorizing the chair to contract with Chapel House. That's the shelter on Franklin Street for men. HH5 is authorizing the chair to enter in a contract with Catholic Charities. They provide supervised visitation for clients. HH6 is authorizing the chair to enter into a contract with Cayuga Centers for the Family Preservation Program, Family Support Program, and Enhanced Foster Parent Support Program, and MST. HH7 is authorizing the chair to contract with Cayuga Centers for the provision of services for restorative and diversion case management. And HHS, which is authorizing the chair to enter into a contract with Cayuga Centers for the 3 respite beds. So again, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those are all preventative contracts. We discussed at committee. They're in the budget for this year, but I think the plan is to RFP them to get the best rate going forward.
Bundle.
I'll
Second it,
second.
Mark.
Any other questions or discussion?
Nope, I think, yeah, supervised visit is the one that you're gonna be working on right away, because we've only extended it for 6 months.
That Friday, and then it'll go out to bid
next week.
Oh,
So
okay.
then you're-
once they're able to review it and everything, it's gonna be a working meeting, so we have the full scope. I have all the other bid legwork done, so I just need them to approve the content in there, and then that'll go out to bid. And then we do have a list of RFPs for some of the other ones, or Cayuga centers and stuff that you listed as well.
That'll go out for the end of the year.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
before June.
Yep.
Thank
Right.
you. Notice, all in favor?
Aye.
Moved. The next one would be HH9. So it's amending DSS 26 budget to accept funds from New York State in the form of Safe Harbor, New York, and to contract with Booker T. Washington Community Center for Safe Harbor, New York services.
I'll move it. I'll move that.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to abstain.
Yeah.
No.
That obvious.
Yes. Moving on to HH10, it's our last one with DSS. Granting permission to the Commissioner of Social Services to fill vacant positions within the Department of Social Services. Previous authorization expired at the end of the year.
I'll move that.
Not second for this one.
Hearing any
Do you want a
discussion?
discussion on that?
I do.
Yeah.
So the way I understand this, the position was unfilled in 2025, correct? Is we here to answer that question?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so, and now what we're doing is we still don't have somebody ready to go in the position. It's still, we're just authorizing it if somewhere down the road, somebody walks through the door and says, hey, I'm willing to do the job.
I don't know about the first part. I don't know if they have anybody or do not, but they're just asking to extend the authorization to fill the position for.
Because based on a policy we have that if it, by the end of the year,
307-22.
it hasn't been filled, you have to renew the request to fill it. And that's what this is?
And this is one of the positions after the reorganization of the empty positions. It was okay to leave it there or whatever.
That's correct.
Try to hopefully fill to that.
That's correct, yes.
And I assume that it's budgeted?
It is budgeted.
Okay.
And they're, what, 2/3 federally funded, 62%?
Are these caseworkers in various
Yeah.
titles?
Yep, but yeah.
Mostly caseworkers?
Mhm.
Yeah, they have it probably, 62% funding on those positions.
Yeah.
So most of them are the caseworkers that their authorization has, just
Right.
expired.
The
Yep.
authorization would have ended in December, and since they didn't fill out their positions,
They're
they're asking
continuing
now.
Are we
They
talking
still
about
have the vacancies to
five?
fill them. They have 5.
5. And they're also health program.
grade?
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Moving to Office of Aging, HH11, authorizing to create, to fill one junior accountant. This is with the help program position at the Office of Aging due to a vacancy. This is the one we talked about in committee too, that is working to eventually transition to partner with the county finance department. Have a
Yep.
shared supervision.
Oh,
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
So I want to make sure I'm clear. So the way I understand it is we're going to take and hire this person for the Office of the Aging, but they're going to also do work in finance, is that?
I think, Mark, there was a,
No.
no, well, they're going to fill a junior accountant vacancy in the Office for the Aging. There was discussion about having, because the office is comparatively is a small department, why not have the additional finance position go up into the Office of Finance so that we can start to consolidate some of the financial work. There was some concern and I think some feedback from HR that, when the Office of Finance was created, the goal was that we were going to consolidate functions within that's why it made sense. So I understood that the finance department is going to take the payroll of the Office for the Aging out of the gate.
Yes, we're taking that over completely.
They're gonna do the payroll work for this department, because that payroll should be centralized for the county too.
Yes, that's one of our moves towards centralization. The payroll is the big piece that we are doing.
I'm as lost now as I was just the other night.
Well, instead of having every little department have payroll staff,
Right.
why not have, especially in the smaller departments, the payroll be done by one central place in the Office of Finance? So they're gonna take the payroll, and the original plan was that perhaps there could be consideration for this position to just be assigned to finance and support the Office for the Aging's work. But there's a big, I guess, learning curve on a lot of the funding streams.
There's some specific things to Office of Aging, so they're gonna stay.
And I think Brenda and HR said, you know, if you haven't worked out the details of who's going to supervise who and how's it gonna work, why don't you work those details out before there's even consideration of transfer? So the resolution says it will be hired for the Office for the Aging, work to be done with the, I guess, plan in place to potentially transfer.
The idea would be to get the person in the position, have them learn the position, get comfortable in the position, then we'll move to transferring the function under finance. So that then, once they're comfortable with those job duties, that then they could possibly start learning some additional roles that would fall under finance, so that they could either need support finance, or other individuals could learn more about their job in finance, could then support OFA if they needed
Right,
to.
a lot of it is even more the vice versa that Diane just mentioned. It's really for support for the Office for the Aging is, eventually we would have other people within the finance department understand what that position does as well. So if they lose the position, if that position, somebody resigns, leaves, whatever, we have other staff that can continue that operation and not, have to worry about a big hole there. And that's kind of the move that the finance department eventually wants to, that's what we want to work towards.
Oh,
It's more efficient.
offices are agreeable to this, I assume.
Well, that's what we're working on. I mean, yeah.
Details to be worked out later date. Okay.
We're making sure that they're making sure that it's, because there's so many specific things to the department, that it's still.
Okay. I guess.
And the person could still sit in OFA.
The person also,
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. Then the next three that I'd like to bundle are contracts with Office of Aging, so 12, 15, and 16. HH 12 is authorizing the chair and the director of Office of Aging and to enter into a contract for the printing of their quarterly newsletter to provide information on programs, which is something they do regularly, from what I understand, and I know people like to have it in print. And then 15, HH 15, authorizing the chair and the director of Office of Aging to sign a renewal contract for the meal service that they use. And then HH 16 is authorizing to sign a contract for non-medical transportation, the SCAT van. So again, bundle HH 12, 15, and 16.
I'll move the bundle.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. And then 13 is authorizing to sign annual contracts with various subcontractors for professional services provided for qualified senior citizens. And this is one we talked about in committee. I think this is the state contracts.
Mhm. I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then 14, similarly is with the federal contracts, right? So authorizing to sign annual contracts with, for professional services for qualified senior citizens.
Move it.
If you need them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. And then the last one is HH 17, authorizing the chair and the director of the youth bureau to execute agreements with various agencies to provide youth development services.
I'll move that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Okay, government operations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have two contract renewals, government one and government two. I like to bundle.
Boom.
Second.
Okay, let's do it. All right. One is authorizing the legislator and commissioner of Cayuga County Board of Elections to sign agreement with the Phoenix Graphic Inc. contract. The other one is authorizing the chair of the legislator of the historic department to renew a contract with imaging integrators. So I get like a motion to bundle them, and they already moved it. So what's my, I don't get that many
All in
bundles.
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. So moved. Any opposed? No. Okay. And the third one is GO3 is authorizing the collective bargaining agreement between Cayuga County Community College and part-time faculty and group and the Cayuga County College for a period of September 1st through August 31st, 2028.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, planning and public works.
Madam Chair, I'd like to bundle PPW 1 to PW 101.
1 to 101.
101.
No, we'll start off with PPW 1. Authorizing the chair of the legislature to sign a 2-year agreement with Superior Waste Removal for removal of trash and recycling from various county buildings.
Move
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion? Just checking. Thank you. PPW 2, authorizing the chair of the legislature to execute various energy-related contracts in collaboration with Power Management Company, LLC, related to market trends and analysis.
I'll move that.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, PPW 3, authorizing the chair of the Cayuga County Legislature to sign a 3-year renewal agreement with Feed Water Treatment Systems to provide HVAC water treatment and Legionella management services. That's a mouthful for various county owned buildings.
Second.
Any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. PPW 4, well, you know, a lot of them. I'm not used to 17 resolutions, though. Authorizing and endorsing the chair of the legislature into a contract with Sessler Environmental Services to construct 3 decontamination chambers, remove limited IT-related equipment, and remove Toshiba copiers from the Cayuga County office building.
Move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just have one. When,
Oh,
it's not bad. When we did talk about the decontamination chambers would be able to stay in place.
Yes.
But when we remove these copiers, we will then have some financial relief to paying for them or turning them in or something. Is that?
Yes, and that's the reason for doing it now is to get the machines out,
Yep.
cleaned out and then returned so that it stops the running of
Can end our
future
contract.
contracts.
We're not, okay, so once we give them back, we can break is that, I mean,
Yes.
we have other
We have
copiers,
Copiers throughout the rest of the system.
but
These
these were removed, we're continuing to pay for them. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
have been.
okay,
It's good. It's unusual for them to, usually once we get them and rent them, they're ours. Are
Well, we
they,
usually return them when we're done with them.
okay,
We have no need for this many at this point, so we'll get it cleaned and then return to Cayuga.
okay. I guess my point is,
Yeah, we lease them. So that's one of the
Oh, we do
things
lease
I'm
'em.
working on is
Thank
the leased copiers.
okay,
So, what the current agreement is is piggybacking off Onondaga County. We also are gonna look at those rates, but we do lease. So after the term of the lease, I think the last one was 4 years. So we're at the end of that. So we're gonna be going into a new lease.
A lot of places, my limited experience is like, once you lease them, they don't want them back. So
Oh,
it's
right.
good that we're getting rid of them. So
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. Did we vote on that?
We got a motion and a second, we need to vote.
That's all?
Yeah.
I'm slipping. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Only PPW 5, oh my God. Authorizing the chair of the legislature and highway superintendent to accept support and maintenance agreement with Novo Solutions Incorporated for maintenance and cloud hosting of software services utilized by the highway department and amending resolutions number 405-25 and 495-25.
Move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
We talked about it at the committee meeting and
We did?
highway
long
superintendent
time
went
ago.
over it. Yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 6 is a quickie. PPW 6 is authorizing the approved 2026 paving list.
Move it.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Want to know any of the roads or anything? Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. PPW 7, 8, and 9. 7 and 8, authorize the purchase, equipment for the highway department, and 8 is authorized to purchase trucks in the highway department.
I'll second 7 and 8.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any questions? Bundle? All opposed? All right. PPW 9, authorizing to approve a 2026 surface treatment list.
Move it.
Move it.
Second, thank you. Elaine, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Carried. PPW 10, accept funding for a countywide housing market study.
I'll move that.
Second for discussion.
Second, okay, discussion?
So. We're accepting funding. Is this something that's state funded or state reimbursed? What's the status of this?
We got a grant for this?
Yeah, so,
Got some cash? Some
We
money?
did a grant for this?
I think so, didn't we?
but it said the project costs more than what the
Yeah,
grant
Carrie's
is.
here. We had $100,000 grant that you received and then we got funding from other places as
Yes.
well.
So this resolution is accepting $100,000 in grant funding from the Northern Border Regional Commission, $20,000 from the county IDA, $20,000 from the Auburn Housing Authority, and $10,000 of in-kind and free data from the city of Auburn, who's using their own grant money to do their portion of that countywide study for just the city. For 150 total.
And Carrie, this is, I guess, from what I've understood, this is a way that you haven't done this kind of assessment in a long time. You're going to be working with the city, the towns, the villages to get an idea of who wants housing in their community, what kind of housing, or who wants none.
Correct. Yeah,
And
the
then-
last time we did this countywide was 1972.
And then once they declare that this is the need that they have, then there's an opportunity to understand that and move forward with.
Yes, a big portion of this planning document, like the rest that we're doing this year and next, is an implementation section to say, okay, Weedsport wants this type of housing, the market will support it. They need this kind of infrastructure improvements in order to support that housing to be developed there. Or they need to attract these types of developers for market rate apartments, single family homes, whatever it is that that particular municipality is looking forward. But yes, we also know that some of our south towns or rural towns are not gonna want anything. And that's good for us to confirm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Discussion's over with. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And carried. Thank you. Funding and solicitation of proposals for a countywide economic development strategy.
I'll move it for discussion,
Motion to discuss. Second for discussion.
okay?
Discussion.
Well, I thought a number of people had questions on this, but I guess I'll start. I had talked with you, Carrie, about, I know this is part of a broader proposal that we all got information on, $150,000 proposal. And this was 150 was included in the 2026 budget. And I guess when this came forward, you're taking out the $70,000 section and asking for permission to hire a consultant to work on a countywide strategy, if I'm understanding.
Correct.
There were questions that I had shared with you that came up about, how do we safeguard from this being another $70,000 study that we end up taking no action on? And, is there a safeguard to this? And you said it in one of your emails that perhaps the committee would be able to see the RFP once it was drafted, and it has not been drafted?
I have a current draft I just did on Friday that the Economic Development Coordination Group, so members from all the organizations are looking at right now internally. Once I get that back from them, I can certainly share it with the full ledge for review and comment before we send it on to Amanda and the attorney's office.
Do we want to table this before we go
I was
forward?
just gonna
Just to
say,
look over the.
until we get that document, I suggest we table this till now. That's my,
Meaning that you think the RFP could give better insight as to what we're looking for?
it may or may not change my vote.
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Go, sure.
Is there a way that internally, like the group can work internally on possibly not in-house coming up with some suggestions? Can you work together to come up with suggestions instead of outsourcing it for additional help?
I think we saw with the Camoin report, there's a lot of value in having an outside third party come in to say, here's what the field is of all the players that are involved, what their roles have been, what their roles could be, maybe what their roles should be going forward. What has been working, what hasn't been working, and how might either propose to recreate a one-stop or we don't, right? And we leave everybody separate. I think that's the whole intent of this. And that's what those agencies are looking for, is instead of saying, we know what's best for us to do, but we would like to have this independent third party come in to say, how should we all be working together? How is this best going to work for the county? And what should we be focusing our efforts and our funding on going forward? And I think a big part of that discussion is, how do we get Papusa more involved in things? How do the IDAs take a different role in things?
So will this consultant be working with current county agencies? Is that where you talked about CCIDA and CCDC and all the acronyms, ADA? And I mean, this consultant will bring these community partners together to see.
Yes, and in the draft RFP, and I'm happy to share, one table is fine. We talked internally that it should also be Capusa, it should be Water and Sewer Authority, it should be Property Extension, it should be the Conservation District, all of the people, Planning Department, everybody should have a seat at the table to give their input to the consultant and see how this is all gonna play out and come together, in addition to both IDAs and, those normal bigger players.
Yeah.
So my issue, and I'm gonna be very blunt. We're supposed to spend $70,000 to have somebody come in and give us a suggestion or recommendation. And there's no guarantee that any of those people, all the acronyms you want to come up with, are gonna say, yeah, I agree with it, and then we're gonna follow it. I mean, why are we spending $70,000 and what are we getting for the $70,000 other than a suggestion?
we're hopefully gonna get a strategy that has actionable items in it for all levels, for the
Well, that's-
county to set up.
That's the reason I want to table this until I see that
RFP.
RFP, because you just said it, you're hoping. Well, I'm not willing to spend $70,000 on hope. That's bottom line. And I would not support this resolution.
Okay, I do have a couple of questions. I interrupt, I don't want to interrupt. Madam Chair, am I okay?
No, go ahead. Sure.
You can't see me behind that.
Okay.
like this. Yeah.
Hey, you can say, hey, you.
So just some questions. Is there any way when you put the proposal together, can we get like a paragraph on each one of the partners, like you said, water to, like how they'd be impacted? Like what their position is in the conversation? Like I know exactly what you do in planning, right? But some of these other organizations, I don't really know, right? So if we could just put like a paragraph together, just give us high level so we don't get distracted with that. Not something too much detail. We can figure it out. We've heard all your acronyms. We can do our own research. The final question I have for you is, when you outsource this, do they give you like a blind? They just basically look at the organization, say this is how you guys should work together, or are you guys coming in with suggestions? Because there might be one or two of those organizations that may not be comfortable in making a lot of changes. And we spent 75,000 to Mark's point, and there's not a lot of flexibility. But I prefer, me personally, if you guys came together and said, hey, this is what we want to do, this is what we're gonna agree to do, and then propose them to come up with a plan to act on it. Because in my opinion, nobody knows Cayuga County better than the groups that you're speaking about that actually live here and work here. And I think if we came with them with a suggestion, and then we were looking at a high level, and then I think we would be, and then they come up with a plan for us. But I think the conversation starts with us. And that's just my opinion.
Right. I know that those of us that sit at a table every 2 weeks want to see a new one-stop organization, because if set up correctly, it's a good model to have and it's very efficient and it has the broadest reach. But the question is, who is part of that one stop, or who is still their own thing that works with the one stop, right? How does that look going forward? Setting CETA up in 2010, it's been a while, right? And that model, as we all know, didn't really work for various reasons the way that it should have and could have. I think the intention from the group that put this proposal together at the chairman's request is hoping for a new one-stop model. What that looks like is to be determined.
So here's my fear, okay? Just saying, this is to be fair. And that's why I wish that, like, you know, if the chair or the chairman wants to put a legislator, I'd be volunteer. Say that one-stop model, there's overlap in position. And I'm gonna say I'm ABC, okay? So that way it's not personalized. If I have to eliminate some people in my staff that are doing multiple tasks, I may feel comfortable accepting the model that is being presented. So what I'm saying is that, like, I think it's ideally for us to at least, obviously, know we've heard the one-stop model. I think we all are encouraging that, but what are we willing to give up to have that? What's the plan how it's supposed to look? And I think we should come to them and then have them propose a plan rather than give total oversight of the project and then people not being, groups not being willing to compromise on it.
And that's the important thing of when we set up the steering committee to work with the consultant, is to make sure all of the entities that want to be represented, including someone from the legislature, whether there's, you know, overlap between whoever's representing you, so that they all have a voice as the process goes along, to not only provide information about what they're doing currently, what they'd like to be doing, whether they don't want to be part of a one-stop or whether they do, what they feel their role should be in economic development countywide and what they think it can be and they can grow to do. And then for those experts as the consultant to say, yep, you're right, you can be doing this and here's how we think you can get there, whether as part of a one-stop model or on your own, working in collaboration. That's the whole point of the project, is to have everyone at the table, but to have those third-party experts trying to help put the puzzle together in the best way possible.
Do most of the organizations feel like they don't want to continue to work in silos? Or it's undetermined yet?
I don't have a feel on that, so I can't answer.
Mhm.
That's good. Am I understanding correctly then? So, I mean, we just, you're around things that the economic development's very important. We just want some assurances that we're using the money as wisely as possible. But if I'm hearing you correctly, it's very hard to figure out who we want to commit because you don't have a strategy yet. We don't know who needs to opt in because we don't know what they're going to suggest.
I mean, we have that long list, like I said, of county IDA, city IDA, the city planning department and council, county planning department, legislature, CAPUSA, water and sewer authority, so the water conservation district, Concord extension. If there's other people that we want to add in the process, absolutely we can. That's kind of like our base start of everyone I can think of off the top of my head. But be part of the scope of the project is requiring them to go out and do some public outreach and other independent stakeholder meetings and interviews with everyone in that space where they can privately say, I don't really like this, I don't want to be part of this, or wait, I really want to be a part of this. It's kind of our typical planning process and the way the consultants go about doing it. There'll have to be public meetings and presentations, full presentation of the draft to the legislature so that you all can weigh in and say, we like this, we hate this, what are you doing?
And this is different than things we've done in the past and what.
We had a similar strategy that was done prior to the lead up of creating CETA, and the last one was done in 2011, I believe. We have not done a countywide economic development strategy to give us guidance countywide and give these agencies guidance countywide since 2011.
You want to say something?
When you're done.
I was thinking probably naively to myself that initially we were told that the 375 a day casita is the one stop was pretty chitsy. That we really need to make a much higher dollar investment in economic development than we were making. And then I thought, well, if we were refocusing this to be mostly county agencies willing to work together, that perhaps dollar amount to put this up would not be $500,000, $600,000, but it's unknown, right? Yes.
I don't know.
Because
Right,
no
this
one
is a
wants to
start.
put this together and say, well, this is what it would cost us to implement this, and then
We can't do it.
we say, well, gee, we can't do that. I mean,
Yeah,
And I think with Legislator Strong's motion to table, I'd like to second that. And I think perhaps,
in the RFP even,
well, I want the draft ahead of time so we can have some open discussion and set some criterion for what we're looking for, what our needs are going forward. I think maybe that would promote some.
And I think it's easy also to add in, Brian, to your point, to the RFP, kind of like mission statement of each of the involved agencies.
Yes,
You can pull
that'd be
something
helpful.
from there.
yeah.
From each of their web pages about who they are and what they do. That's good for anyone responding to the RFP too, so we can check that.
I haven't seen Carrie's preliminary yet, but there are some things that you can do within the RFP, so for like the submissions and stuff, and you can require where they present to you instead of just handing you a packet of, hey, $60,000 for this. You can also add in there that you'd like a preliminary vision for them to, because they can go online, they can see what these agencies are, and they can kind of see what our area is about, and they can give a preliminary vision, and then you could do where you have them present, and then you can challenge them, or you could request that, well, we don't really like that vision, and help in determining that RFP too on a selection. And I'm the one who does the awarding too, so.
and the RFP could be done without committing the funds.
You can do an RFP
Right.
and not award to anyone.
Right.
But
You
ask
don't have
them
to
for
award to anyone. I have language in there that allows us to reject all bids if we want. And this.
That's what you guys are worried about. We're gonna spend this money.
What are we getting for our dollars?
Well, I don't, in a perfect world, I like that. I never, you know, in the perfect world, I would like to, obviously see the mission statements of every single partner that's involved prior with that, and I also like to present, and I also think that what's ongoing. So if we were to go with whatever plan they put in, I think that's the plan. If I go with if I voting at this point with the RFP, if they say, hey, we don't have CETA no more, right? Okay, we're getting rid of CETA, then that's the plan. If we're gonna pay the money, that's the plan, because nobody else came up with a plan but the people that we put the bid in front of. And I also know what ongoing help they're gonna give us to make sure we stay on plan. As legislators, we don't want to get politics involved, nor do we want to be able to get people that are outside their wheelhouse. So if that's the plan and they decide to do it and it hurts a department or hurts one of the groups in there, it's the plan. And that's where I feel comfortable supporting with them. And maybe they're coming in at a, not hopefully 75,000, but at a smaller amount to make sure we stay on plan. Because since I've been a legislator, we do a lot of these and we don't, not in your world, but other places, and we don't have the follow through. So if they're saying, hey, you have 7 people in your apartment, you could do this with 3, or you need 8, we're gonna follow that plan. We're gonna follow that plan, and I think that's the way to go in the future. If they're gonna be the ones we're gonna pay 75,000 for, we're gonna follow it. And they need to work within whatever budgets we actually have. I don't want to hear, last time they were talking about, we were in a position to hire somebody, I think it was $500,000 for it was higher than that.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
quarters.
Yeah, so if we can't afford, they gotta work within, that's why their presentation is gonna be powerful, because they need to work within the budget that we actually have available. And if they can't, then maybe we need to go back and work within our groups to find out what we can do.
Or did you want to say something?
Just briefly, Mr. Shea addressed the procedural issue of the motion to table. Now, the first and a second, and that's out there as well.
Okay.
So we had a gap between what Mr. Strong did and Shea did.
So there's a motion
Motion to table.
and a second,
So we're voting on it.
Second.
okay? And the discussion is table until we have the RFP and some additional information.
That's fair.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And that's.
I'll go back to committee probably.
Okay.
And you distribute the draft. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. T on that one. Okay, PPW 12, authorization to accept donation from the Friends of Emerson Park and BOCES of Sculpture. I'll entertain a motion. Second,
I'll take that.
2 second, and discussion. We talked about this in committee as well. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed for the sculpture? Carried.
The old, big giant slide, right?
Yeah. Okay, a PPW 13, a resolution set park and trails rental rates. Move it. Move it.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. 14, authorization, the hiring of seasonal staff for the Parks and Trails Department, 2026.
I'll move it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. All right.
JPS?
Thank you, Madam Chair. JPS has a total of 9 resolutions. I'd like to bundle JP 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. They basically all have to do with contracts, or there is one accepting of a grant with no match.
I'll move the bundle of 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
I have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
I have a second. Any discussion on the bundle? Hearing none. Any opposed? Carried. JP2 is author or appointing an administrator of the Indigent Defense, part-time and setting the rate of compensation. The rate of compensation is $45. It's the same as it was last year. Mr. Hoskins is the part-time employee and he's been for several years.
Like to continue one more year, right?
He would like to continue for another year.
I'll move JP2.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. JP3, authorizing the chair of the legislator to lease office space for the office of assigned counsel.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
This is their current office space.
Yes, current space.
Yep, to retain.
Any other discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. The last one is JP5, Office of Emergency Services, authorizing the Cayuga County Legislature to adapt the amended Cayuga County Fire Mutual Aid Plan. I believe I have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? The only thing I will add is this is a new draft that the office has presented to us. Everybody should have gotten a copy of it. Other than that, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
I think you got JP8, Mark?
Got it.
I already did it.
That was in the first bundle.
That was in my.
It was part of your first, okay.
That's Dave.
Yep. Okay,
That's it.
all right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.